Hello everyone, my name is Jonah and welcome back to another OSK review. I haven't done an OSK review in a long time, but actually the review that I did in the building didn't really count for a OSK review. Even though it was for OSK, it wasn't a physical train. It was just a building for your layout, so it doesn't really count as a train. So it doesn't, of course, doesn't count as a train. But anyway, so today, I'm gonna be reviewing my Christmas gift that I just got yesterday, and I really do appreciate it because because of what my parents have done for me. Because of course that has been a rough year for us, and we haven't been able to do most of the stuff that we've been wanting to do. It is a tough time, but I do appreciate for them being able to do something for me, even though things have been rough lately. But other than that, I really do appreciate this Christmas gift. Um, for some reason, I didn't really feel like Christmas. Kind of just felt like it didn't really feel like Christmas. More kind of it's like, and it's because the year flew by so fast for me, and probably didn't for all other people, but for me it did. And another factor why I didn't really feel like Christmas is because of how warm it was. It was really warm. Um, for Christmas time. It's winter. It's not supposed to be warm during winter. It was 52 degrees. Yes, 52 degrees on Christmas Day, and it was really weird. But apart from that, we're not gonna get all into detail about all that because this is a train video, not a Christmas video, not a all into detail about Christmas videos. That has nothing to do with trains. So anyway, today we're gonna be reviewing the Lionel Lionchief Pennsylvania Flyer ready to run O-scale train set with Bluetooth. Yes, this train has Bluetooth. That's one of the high the high points in this train set, which is actually really awesome because Lionel has really done this for a couple years while as they've been doing this for a couple of years where they have been able to have Bluetooth technology into their engine or into their trains, and been able to do that for the last few years, and it's definitely, and in my opinion, it has turned out to be a pretty big success because you can obviously run your train with a mobile device, and it's just really amazing to see that because it just kind of shows of how much because it really just shows how much the train how much train modeling has gotten or has evolved into better technology, into really good technology, which is awesome to look at. So anyway, apart from that, if you haven't seen any of my overscale videos before, any of my overscale reviews, I give you guys a close-up look on everything that's included in the set, such as the locomotive, the cars, and the power supply, or yeah, no, not power supply. Like if this is a if this is a Lionchief engine, which this is, I will be showing you like the controller. But and in this case, that's what it is. But in other cases, it's different. But we're not gonna talk about other trains. We're gonna talk about this one. So I do actually have a train like this in my fleet, and it's actually in the background just over there. It's actually pretty cool. It's actually basically the same engine, but it's different. But this train is a lot more different, and of course, it has so much more features. The one back there has like 2 features, and um, that's basically the whistle, the motorized whistle that Lionel used to do for many years, and like smoke unit, and that's basically it. There was no sound to it because it was from 2000 from 2010, and it didn't really have any functions that trains do now, because I'm pretty sure that train did not have any functions at all, barely than like 2, and that was it, because that wasn't until Lionel came out with rail sounds, and that's what's been in Lionel trains ever since. So like I said in this video, I will be giving you guys a close-up look at all and everything that's included in the set, except for the track, because of course you don't need to see the track because the track is exactly the same track that I have right here, so you don't really need to see that. But we'll be showing the control. We'll be showing the Lionchief controller, the engine, the tender, and the 3 cars that are included in this set. Now, some of the features, some of the things that were included in the set for the track wise, for the power supply and so forth. For the track, there was one feature there was one little thing that I wasn't really used to seeing before, and that was the plug and play. That was a plug and play uh, track, and I wasn't really used to that, and I was kind of confused what that was for. But I then figured it out that it was a plug and play thing, so you can get buildings and stuff, and you would plug it into the track, and then it would start and it would light up or do whatever action. And I really do like that idea. I don't know how long it's been out for, so I'm not, because I just figured it out because I've kind of been behind on Lionel lately. But anyway, apart from that, I really do like the idea, and there will be a review coming soon talking about that in the near future. But for now, we're going to be focusing more on the trains. So, so the power supply is basically the same thing as usual, because of course it's just plugging. This is just an outlet transformer that you would plug in, and then you would just plug it in right into the control. Plug in right into the track, and it's basically one of these plugs right here. If you look down to the bottom of the screen, right over here, and that's basically how it is. Now, for the train wise, there's a lot more features than the track and the power supply, because that's of course more, because the track doesn't need features and stuff. But anyway, so let's go ahead and get a closer look on the engine and show you all the cool features that this train that this train has in store for you. Alright, here's a look at the front of the engine. So as you can tell, we're gonna start off with the engine. So starting off first is a dummy coupler. I believe it's called a dummy coupler because a dummy coupler is a coupler that does not have a mechanism to open up the coupler, because usually normal couplers would have a little lever on the side that you would push down, and then this part will open up, and you can connect your cars or whatever you're connecting to your train. So this is a dummy coupler, but it does swing it around. So if you're doing like a double header or other things, like if you are doing a double header or other things like that, you would most likely use this. Or if you're like moving a car, or if you're like doing, like, for example, yard work and the cars are in front of the engine, that's what it's also used for as well. Alright, moving up, we have some nice die-cast detail all along the sides for the front. We have some nice we have molded in handrails. Moving up, we have some more. This is all this is all die-cast all around here. Moving up to the boiler, we have a very nice looking boiler. No, the boiler does not open up. It is just fixed. On the front of the boiler, you have the engine number, which is 6637. Moving up, we have an operating LED headlight. And if you look on this, well, anyway, even though it's a side view, even though we're just going to go up, over, and down, you can see the number plate on the side. That doesn't light up, it's just a little detail. Moving on up, onto the top, we have an operating smoke unit. When it's time to load smoke fluid into the smoke unit, all you have to do is get your smoke fluid, of course, and just drop your smoke fluid into the smoke stack just like that. There's nothing really anything special. You just drop it right in there. Moving on, we have a separately applied bell, which looks very nice, and it has that nice brass look to it. Moving back, we have some nice. I forgot the terms for these. But we have some really nice looking detail here and here. You have a steam dome right here, and you have blow off valves right here, and a steam whistle right here, which looks very nice. Right back here, we have a really nice looking dynamo. And moving back here to the top of the cab, as you can see, the paint scheme is the classic Pennsylvania, red. This was a very common thing that Pennsylvania did on basically all of their engines. Even on the Streamliner engines like the K4s, like for example the Broadway Limited. On the Broadway Limited, the tender. When you looked in the back of the tender, you can tell that it had that same red paint scheme, because Pennsylvania would do this with all their engines, like all the K4s and other things and other engines like that. That Pennsylvania had, and so it's really become a very common thing that Pennsylvania has done for basically all their engines, and that's what Lionel has done for this engine. Even though the Pennsylvania Flyer is not, or this particular engine is not a real engine, it is, even though it's not a particular real engine, it still shows what Pennsylvania has done with most of their engines, which is a really nice demonstration of what Lionel did for this paint scheme. And the paint scheme it's a really nice touch to this engine. Anyway, moving on from the paint scheme, we have some really nice riveting detail all along the top of the cab, and we have the little window, and you have the little vents on the top on each side. These do not open. They are fixed. No, they're not fixed. They are completely molded in. Now, if you don't know what the function of these were, because the smokestack was up here, the smoke would go up. Since the smoke would go up and go back when they were going at whatever speed, the smoke would get into the cab, and so it would be hard to see. When the smoke would get into cab, and since you're going forward, since you're going forward and the smoke is going backwards, there wasn't really a way to vent out the cab. So what they did is that they added these little vents, and these vents would vent out the cab, which is a pretty cool thing. Of course, later in the years, they came out with the cab forward, which of course completely reversed the engine, and so the cab would be in the front and the smokestack would be on the back, so you didn't have to worry about that. But it's still really cool. But of course, that's a completely different engine. This is of course not cab forward. Alright, here's a look at the back of the engine. I do apologize for the shakiness. I didn't really think this through, so I have to stick with it. So as you can see, there's not really much to look at for paint wise, but you can see the entrance for entrance for the coal, where you throw the coal in, of course, and quite a bit of more molded detail. It looks very nice. I do apologize for the camera. Didn't really think this through, but you see up there's the gauges. They're not painted or anything, but still looks very nice. And as you can see on the sides, I'm gonna turn off the flag, even though it's a really big help. As you can see on the sides, you have two little engine and crew figures on each side, which looks really nice. I really do like that feature. With my last engine, they did with my other Pennsylvania Flyer that's sitting in the back. that also did have no crew figures, and I really do like that little feature because it's because you wouldn't really expect that, but they added that in anyway because it looks really cool. Now, if you look beside that, sorry about the flickering flashlight. I need to get new batteries for it. If you look on the sides, you have two molded handrails on each side, and also looking down here, you have the connector for the tender. So because of course the speaker is in the tender, so of course you would connect the engine to the tender, and then of course everything that's the engine gets that's sound wise will go into the tender and it'll make all the sounds. Alright, so we are now going to move on to the side. There's quite a lot to look at on the side, but we're going to go ahead and get through it. So as you can see, we're starting off with the front of the engine. As you can see, you can get another look at that number plate on the side. As you can see, all along the side of the engine, the handrails are all die cast, and they're not separately applied pieces. I'm not exactly sure why Lionel did that with this engine, because with my other steam engines, they didn't really. They have, of course, separately applied They have little wire, like little metal wires for the handrails. I'm not too sure why they decided to go metal with this one, or they decided to just have it part as a detail in the boiler. I'm not exactly too sure why they did that, but regardless, it still looks nice. If you look on the side, of course, from the side angle, you can see most of the detail that we went through earlier in this video. As you can see, here's the company label right here. It doesn't actually have a name printed out, or company name printed out here, so it's kind of just a detail. You have some nice piping detail all along the sides, and also going up to the steam dome, and going up to here, and also over here as well. You have some more piping detail all along here, and also down by the firebox, which looks also very nice. Moving on down to the bottom of the train, or the engine. As you can see, we have the big pipe leading down to the pistons right here. As you can see, you have some very nice looking driving rods that looks very nice, and they also look very nice when the train's moving. As you can see, this engine is a 080, which means that it has no driving wheels. It has no front wheels. 8 driving wheels, which means 4 on one side and 4 on the other side, and no rear wheels. I don't remember both of these, both the names for these, the wheels on the front and wheels on the back and wheels on the front. But I do apologize for that, but please excuse me, I haven't done this in a while. But anyway, it looks very nice when this train is moving along, because this all looks very nice and runs very smoothly. As you can see, the boiler is split from the rest of the train, which is a pretty common thing that most steam engines would be like, that the boiler would be split between the driving wheels and the boiler itself, which is pretty cool. You have some nice you have some more die cast detail all along here. Actually, this is actually made out of plastic. Didn't think that through. And we also have some more detail over here. I believe this is where the smoke would. I believe this is where the smoke would go out when the engine starts moving. I believe. Another spot for it, I believe, because of course the engine would have smoke coming out of this area with the pistons, and of course also back here, I believe that's where also the smoke would also enter out. On the other side, it relatively is the same, other than a few other details that the other side didn't have. this this is another piece that the other side didn't have. It was more different. We just saw. Of course, there's more different stuff that this side does have that the other side didn't have, which is of course pretty common as well. Of course, the driving wheels are also the same as well, and also you can get a better look of seeing that it's an 080. Here's a look at the bottom of the engine. There's quite a bit to look at. As you can see here, you can get a good look at the dummy coupler. It is just it's just spring loaded, so it does move around, and you can see it wiggling around. You look right here, there's a little Bluetooth logo, just signifying that this is a Bluetooth locomotive, which is a pretty cool little touch. You're gonna get a good look at the driving wheels. So you have this engine does not have traction tires, and it didn't include any, so it is pretty free. But it doesn't really need traction tire. This engine didn't include traction tires, so it just runs how it is. And honestly, it doesn't really need. And honestly, it runs very well without traction tires. But of course, traction tires is always a option that Lionel does include with some of the engines. Anyway, moving on, we have the rolling. I forgot what those things are called. The rolling. I'm losing a lot of my. I'm really losing a lot of my intelligence about trains because I've done this for quite a while that I've forgotten most of the stuff. So please bear with me. So we have this is the wheels where the train gets the power from the center wheel, from the rail just over here, the one in the middle. That's in between the driving wheels, which is very nice. As you can see right here, there's a little switch for the smoke that you would switch on and off just like that. And also down here, there is a little switch down here as well. You can't really see it, but it says chuff, and that's of course for the sound. Oh, that's for one of the sounds. That's of course the chuff is the engine sounds basically. The chuff is it's the engine sounds, and of course the whistle and the bell are not really considered as the engine sound, so it's of course still the whistle and the bell are still accessible with the Lionchief remote. If you look closely right here, you can see exactly where one of the motors are. One of the motors are just here, and the other one is just over here. Now, if you look just right here, you have all the basically all the train markings saying Lionel, and the model number right here. Also, if you look right here, this is the wire to this is the connector for the tender. Alright, so we're now done with the engine. Now it's going to be time for the tender. Alright, so starting off with the front, instead of a coupler like the engine, this is the connector that comes up from the back of the from the locomotive, and so that would just connect just as simple. And of course the speaker will get everything that the locomotive sends to this tender. Moving on up, we have some little steps on the side, going along here and going along here. This whole tender is made out of plastic, except for the wheels, of course. As you can see, if you look closely right here, you can see the little pile of coal right here, which is also a nice touch. You can see like the door is cracked open. Oh, actually not really cracked open, but it has a hole on the bottom that open, and that's giving you access to some of the coal. So of course, throw it into the engine. Moving on up, we have, as you can see, there's no flaps on each side. Not really flaps, they're kind of basically fixed flaps on the side. And moving on up, we have the coal load just over here. Here's a look on the top, just below. You can get another look at the coal load. As you can see, they did a pretty good job with the coal load because they kind of like added some shine to it, which kind of makes it look more realistic, which is a pretty nice touch. And moving on to the top, just below, we have that Pennsylvania red to it once again. Now, continuing about my conversation about that, um, one of the particular engine Pennsylvania engines that um, one of the particular Pennsylvania engines that I do remember having this having the red paint scheme on the top of the tender was the Broadway Limited. The Broadway Limited was a Streamliner K4 for Pennsylvania for, of course, passenger service, and of course it was a K4, of course, but of course it was a Streamliner engine. I specifically remember that, of course, it would be covered on the sides, like all it would be like covered on the sides, but down in the center you can see that paint scheme. You can see this paint scheme, which is pretty awesome. Because even though you couldn't really see it from a side angle, um, you can still like see it from the top angle, and of course, if you do get like of course, if you do have a Broadway Limited, you can see exactly what I'm talking about. But not just for the Broadway Limited, of course, for all other K4s and other Pennsylvania engines, all had this paint scheme because it's all common with Pennsylvania, and it's just a really, it's a really really awesome look to because you can obviously tell that it's a Pennsylvania just by the paint scheme on the top, which is a really nice touch that I really do like about this engine. It really gives it a lot of character. Here's a look at the back. We have some nice molding detail here, here, and here. And also, and right here we have a hatch, which is for the water, of course, for all the water, because of course, tender is not just made for coal, but it's also made for water as well. So you would open up this hatch, put all the water in there as well. Um, just behind that, just behind that is a headlight, backup light. Um, this does not sadly, this does not operate. I thought it would because it looked like it did, but they just added a little plastic insert in. But all they did was just add a plastic insert, just like the front headlight, and it does not light up or anything. But I wish it did, but it doesn't. Here's a look at the back of the tender. As you can see, we have another look at that headlight. I wish it did look like it was operating, but it doesn't. It's not operating. It doesn't have an LED in there, sadly. As you can see, you have a molding ladder along the side. You have a hand drill right here. You have a bunch of riveting detail all along the back. You have more of the detail that the front of the engine or front of the locomotive had, and a coupler right here, just like what I talked about the dummy coupler, that it didn't have the lever. This is what a normal coupler would look like. There's another lever just over here. You would push down, and since it's spring loaded, it would swing wide open. Of course, there's another I forgot what the term of this was called. I forgot what the term of this coupler was called, and for this little part right here, but I forgot. But I remembered that that there would be certain tracks that would have a little feature to use this little thing, and that would open up that tender. That would open up the coupler for the tender, which is pretty cool. Here's a look at the side of the tender. There's not too much to look at, but there is quite a bit of stuff. But it does look very, very nice. So all along the side, we have some nice riveting detail. As you can see, you have the big letters. You have the Pennsylvania, and of course, surrounded by that, you have a nice paint scheme going along the sides, all around here, and also up here as well, which is a pretty common thing for Pennsylvania. You can get a good look at the little steps right along over here. Honestly, the paint scheme on this tender looks very, very nice and clear. It's just nice, and it's just like a really nice and bold look to it, which I really do like about this tender. Moving on to the bottom, you can get a good look at the wheels. The wheels are made out of no, they are made of plastic. Yeah, Yeah, they are made of plastic. The side of the wheels are made of plastic, but of course the wheels are not plastic. But they both are the same. The other side of the tender is basically the same thing as the other side. It's just switched around. Here's a look at the bottom of the tender. I'll bring up my flashlight so you can see no more better. As you can see, you can get a good look at the bottom of the wheels. Just over here, you have the little tabs on the side, so it can pick up power for the speaker, of course, to power the speaker, of course, which is just right here. And here's the look of the other wheels as well, which is just a normal wheel. Doesn't have anything special like this one does. Like it has wires connected to it. So basically, relatively the same. So basically everything that this wheels has, but without the wires and everything else, with the tabs and everything else with it. It is now time to move on to the 3 cars that are included in the set, which is a box car, a tank car, and a Pennsylvania Caboose. Now, most of these cars are basically the same. Um, the same because with most of the Lionel engines, basically the same thing. But the paint scheme is, of course, different. But relatively, the engines or the cars are the same except for the paint scheme. So I won't really go. I won't really go too far. Or not too far. I mean, I won't really go too much into detail, but I will briefly go through everything though. So starting off at the front, as you can see, we have the normal coupler, of course. Moving on up, we have a a ladder going all the way up. You have another. We do have another step right here, or not? Yeah, another step, so you can access the brake wheel, which is just over here. As you can see, we have a lot of molded in detail along the sides. As you can see on the top, we have a nice walkway all along the top over here. Now it's a nice little detail right here. If you look right over here, there's another. I believe this is a I believe that's a refrigerating. I think this is a refrigerated car. There is a little hatch on the side. I think so. If I am right, let me know in the comments. If I'm not, let me know in the comments as well. Um, I can't tell if this is a refrigerated car or not, but refrigerated cars would have little hatches on the side that would open up, and of course vent out whatever's inside. I can't tell if this is or not, but anyway, it does look like it though. And of course, I talked about the walkway earlier. The back is relatively the same as the front, except for the brake wheel. Here's a look at the side, and there's quite a bit to look at, which looks very nice. As you can see, this car is basically like a dark, kind of like a brownish reddish to it, which is darker than the paint scheme of the engine, which is more brownish than the paint scheme on the engine. As you can see in big letters, we have Pennsylvania, and there's another slogan, which is "Don't stand me still." Here's the car number, which is 24095. The capacity is 110,000. The load limit is 100. Oh, as a 300,000. The limit weight is 65,700. As you can see right here, we have an opening door, just like that. It slides open, which is a pretty common thing that most of the Lionel box cars have. And it just closes like that. You don't know that it closes because there's a nice loud snap. And over here, we have a very nice looking Pennsylvania Railroad logo. Of course, this is a very popular logo. We have some nice. I do not remember what this information is for. But of course, you can let me know in the comments down below. But moving on, we have another ladder, molded in ladder going along the sides, and also you can get a good look at the wheels on the side as well. The other side is exactly the same as the other side. Next up is the tanker car. Now, as you can see, it's tank car. So um, starting off at the front, we have once again another coupler. Moving on up, we have this whole frame, and we have this whole big frame going all around the tank. You have a brake wheel just here. Moving on, we have this, of course, the tank itself. There's quite a bit of stuff to look at. Of course, you have the three big hatches on the top. You have another walkway, just over here. Another walkway right here and here. Along to the sides. If you look right here, as you can see, there's another handrail. The back is basically the same, just without the handrail, or no, brake wheel. Getting my stuff mixed up. Shoot. On the side, as you can see, it says it shows what is in here, which is caustic soda. You have a Pennsylvania logo. I forgot what this meant, but of course, I forgot what this meant. Anyone knows, let me know. Here's the company name. It's SHPX for in the number 4727. The capacity is 140,000 pounds. The limit weight is 58 58,400. Excuse me. What's actually pretty cool that I noticed here is that it says you have the number right here, which is 29789, and then it says right here, built 2009 by Lionel. Now I'm not 100% sure if that's talking about the year. If it is talking about the year, that's actually really awesome. And it of course says Lionel on there, which is also really awesome. On the other side, it says Pennsylvania Salt Manufacturing Company, Chemicals, Philadelphia, PA, Pennsylvania. So this detail is really cool. Of course, in the center of all that, we have the ladder just in the center, and of course, as you can see, the handrail is going all along as well. Of course, you can get a good look at the wheels as well. The other side is basically the same, just switched around. And last but certainly not least is the Caboose. As you can see, the Caboose has the same paint scheme as the boxcar, which is pretty cool. As you can see in the front, I'll get my flashlight out because the lighting's not too, or the light is not facing this way, so it's not that good. But anyway, as you can see, we have the coupler. Once again, we have some nice, really nice detail all along the side. We have some nice framing. I believe it's called framing or handrails all along the sides. No supports on each side. I have no ladder going along here. The brake wheel, of course, and as you can see, you have no handrails on the side and here. Grab irons on here and here. You have a molded in window with plastic inserts and the plastic insert, and also windows on the side as well. Moving on to the top, with the ladder, if you go up the ladder, of course you have the walkway going along to the top, and of course you have the classic window. You have the classic windows all along the sides, all around. We have grab irons on each side, right here, here, and here. I believe this could be a light or a something else. And then it's basically the same on the other side as well. The back is exactly the same as the front. Just look at the side of the Caboose. I'll turn that light off. You don't really need it. As you can see, it says in big letters, Pennsylvania. The Pennsylvania Railroad logo is up here. The Caboose number 477939. Eastern region. and it says over here 29788 built 2019 by Lionel. I really like, if that is the year, that is a really awesome feature. As you can see on the sides, you have the no steps all along here and here, and of course the same old wheels as well. Of course, the other side is exactly the same as this side. Alright, so that does it for the whole set, except for one last thing, and that is the remote. So let's go ahead and take a look at the remote. So starting off, we're gonna go ahead and back this up and just type. Okay, there we go. So as you can see, you have basically everything else that's basically normal. You have the power light, just like that. You have reverse, forward, of course the wheel to turn it. Now, what I really do like about this wheel is that it's very smooth, and I really do like that because it does feel really nice. I really like that feeling because it feels like it feels really smooth. Now, if you do look at another, like an older Lionel, Lionchief and Lionchief remotes, as you can see, it looks completely different. Of course, not just because of course, the train, of course, but with how this worked, it's, as you can see, it stops. Here you can hear it makes a noise. It's like stops. Like it's not smooth at all. And of course, the buttons look different as well. As you can see, the bell announcements and horn and whistle. This one, the Pennsylvania one, as you can see, it looks completely more better, and it's a lot more smoother than the other one. As you can see, the announcements is a microphone, the bell is still the same, and then the whistle is now just a horn. As you can see, you have the Pennsylvania logo right here, and then 6637, and then the classic Lionel logo right there. Of course, on the back, there's not much to look at. Of course, where you put the batteries in. Of course, just information, Lionchief remote, and so forth. So yeah, it's a very solid remote. It's basically the same thing, but but it does look a lot more better than other Lionchief remotes, or like later, or like older Lionchief remotes. So yeah, that's basically it for the remote. But of course, there's times where you don't need to use this remote because of course you have the Bluetooth feature to this engine. Alright, so this is what the app looks like. So of course you need to have your Bluetooth on, of course. So this is basically how it looks. Of course, you have your throttle all over here. You have all your buttons, horn, bell, announcements, front coupler, rear coupler, and this is for turning up the volume or messing around with the volume settings on the engine, like turning it down, or turning down each volume or something like that. Of course, this is where you would connect your locomotive. No, it doesn't say anything because I don't have the engine on. We'll get to that in just a few minutes, but just giving you a brief look through of how the app looks like. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started with that. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and power up this engine so you can get a good look at, how everything works out, and that'll show you, or just how everything operates before I show you the Bluetooth feature to this engine. Alright, so let's go ahead and fire this guy up, or let's go ahead and fire her up. You may be wondering what that noise is. It's like an old chirping noise. That's just letting you know that that the engine does not that the engine cannot recognize the remote, or there's nothing, can't recognize the remote, or can detect your mobile device. Now, when you have your engine on, this is the mode you would have it, or when you turn your engine, this is what you should hear, because when you're pairing your locomotive with your mobile device, you should have it like this, because you should not have your Lionchief engine. You should not have your Lionchief controller on while you're trying to pair your mobile device to your locomotive, or else it won't work. Because it still says that I'm still connected to the Lionchief remote. Because it's still connected to the Lionchief remote, so it won't work. So let's go ahead and fire it up, but with the Lionchief controller, and just show you how it works again. So let's go ahead and do that. You have that tripping noise once again. Let's go ahead and power it up. As you can tell, the sounds really nice, or just by the engine sounds, it sounds really nice. As you can tell, if you listen closely, you can hear the sound of the dynamo, and of course you hear the chuffing of the engine, which sounds really nice and realistic, which I really do like about this engine. Alright, so let's go ahead and start off with some of the features. Let's go ahead and listen to some of the sounds. So let's go ahead and start off with a whistle. Let's start off with a bow. And here's some of the announcements. Here's the announcements.
I'm feeling a little squeaky. Give me a little oil, all right? Hey there! What are you waiting for? Let's roll! The Pennsylvania Flyer is ready to roll.
Now, there's not that many announcements to this engine. I'm not too sure. It's not really a bad. Sure, it's not really that exciting, but without the announcements. But of course, people don't really like the announcements. But people don't really like the announcements on on trains. So, oh, my bad. So, people don't really like that about train. People don't really like. Some people don't like the announcements and stuff. But I still like to show people how it sounds if you do decide having announcements on your train. Alright, so now it's time to show you how the Bluetooth works on this engine. So if you go to this, so when you open up the app and you're welcome to this, and it says no, it's kind of like the locomotive. So you would go to that and you would press the search button right here, and it says searching for new engines. And of course, when you're hearing that noise, it's just saying that it's not detecting any controller or anything like that. So after you search anything, when your engine is in that mode, you would search your engine, and there you go. There's your 6637. You click that, and it says a pin flyer with Bluetooth, and then you press this to connect it. And there you go. Now you would press this button to disconnect your engine, so you can go switch back to your Lionchief remote if you desire. So you just exit out of that, and now everything should work. Now what's really nice about this app is that you can turn down each thing, you can turn down each sound separately. So if one sound is too loud, you can turn down the other thing as well. And of course, you can turn on the overall volume. So of course, if it's this is what it was factory. But if you want to turn down your volume completely, you just do that. As you can see, it's completely silent, but we're gonna have it we're gonna have a full blast for today's video. And so that's basically it for the app. So yeah, that's basically it. The settings is basically just momentum and speed limit, and of course smoke. So it's a really nice app. This is version 2.4.40, so we still have a long way to go with this app, and it's a very nice app, and it's very useful for running your trains, because whoever thought that you can use Bluetooth to run your trains? It's absolutely an amazing feature. Alright, so it's now time to run this train, so let's go ahead and move her out.
That's why they call me the Pennsylvania Flyer. Hey there! What are you waiting for? Let's roll! The Pennsylvania Flyer is ready to roll. Hey there! What are you waiting for? Let's roll! I make steam from water and fire.
Alright, so that's gonna do it for today. For today's review. I hope you guys enjoyed sticking around and watching this and sticking to this review. I hope you guys enjoyed enjoyed this review. The retail price for this train set is $300, and honestly, I think it is worth it because you're getting all these amazing features and Bluetooth, a really nicely detailed engine. You're getting a lot of detail. You're getting a lot of detail, awesome features. A whole set. You're getting a whole ready to run set. You're getting your engine, tender, cars, a whole loop of track. Of course, that special feature of Bluetooth. I mean, this train is really worth it, and I think that it's definitely worth to buy because you're getting an awesome Pennsylvania engine. and you're getting this whole amazing set, and you have this awesome Bluetooth engine, which is just absolutely amazing. So once again, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed my Christmas present. So once again, thank you guys for joining me in this review, and I hope you see you in the and there will be many more videos to come with this locomotive, because it's absolutely amazing. And I'm happy to have it in my fleet. So once again, thank you for joining me in this review. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next video or next train video. See you guys later.